So in No More Heroes, a lot of really bizarre things happen. You live in the city of Santa Destroy, and you go to places like the gym where your trainer encourages you to get naked before you work out. All the enemies that you split in two yell out for the loss of their spleen. If you've played any of Suda51's previous titles, like Killer 7, this probably isn't going to be very shocking to you. What may surprise you, though, is that while No More Heroes has the same kind of high concept, it's got a lot of rewarding gameplay to go along with it. The eccentricity is guaranteed. You've never played anything quite like this before, but you're going to keep coming back for the really great combat. If you need further proof of how nutty this game is, consider the story. As Travis Touchdown, you collect porn, you own action figures, and you order a lightsaber off of the internet. By doing so, you find yourself in the midst of a real melodrama of real-life assassinations. Armed with your trusty beam katana, you slice your way through a bunch of killers in your quest to earn the #1 rank. Narrowing things down like that doesn't really do everything justice, though, because everything's so absurd. The characters, the references, even the gameplay. The combat is the shining star, and not enough can really be said about how over the top it is. You go out armed with your weapon of choice, you take on a bunch of mercenaries in a given mission, and you just slice them up. You'd think you're brandishing a lightsaber, you should swing the remote to approximate the combat, but that's really not how it works. It's much more simple. You swing using the A button, you do hand-to-hand moves using the B button, but you do waggle the remote and the nunchuck around to do finishing moves. The combination of all the button mashing and the yanking on the remote really comes together well, and combat can feel really breathless but rarely repetitive. A lot of that has to do with how exuberant the brutality is. Enemies spurt endless showers of blood and coins, so your screen's going to be filled with red streams and golden glitter. A small slot machine spins at the bottom of the screen after every finishing move. Every time you match 3 characters on that slot machine, you open up a special move. The power-ups are really awesome to watch, and they're an exhilarating reward for doing really well in combat. The best part of the action is in the numerous and impressive boss encounters, while you'll use a lot of subtleties in combat to your advantage, though you shouldn't get the impression that combat's really all that hard. Still, the boss fights are very entertaining thanks to your opponent's really dramatic soliloquizing and all their interesting attacks. It's just really wacky. When you aren't fighting, you can roam about Santa Destroy on your motorcycle in a Grand Theft Auto kind of way, but you shouldn't expect that that part of the gameplay really approaches Grand Theft Auto in any way. There are some traffic and pedestrians, but the city is really your way of moving from one mission to the next, so there aren't a whole lot of surprises. In keeping with the stylish combat and crazy dialogue, the visual design follows suit, with some strong color, and it benefits from crisp cell shading and well-done shadows. It also has really clean textures and some great exaggerated animations. There are some issues, though, such as in the frame rate, which has a tendency to slow down quite a bit when you're zooming around on your bike or dicing up a half-dozen foes at once. The game is not, however, a technical powerhouse. In fact, it seems to be very aware of that. A lot of the menus are done in this great 8-bit design, and it seems to really embrace the fact that it goes for style rather than technical prowess.
And the show will go on. I hope to see you all again soon.
So in the end, what you've got is an absolutely absurd story combined with excellent gameplay mechanics and a really fantastic combat. This is probably the best action game that's come out on the Wii. So if you are into something that's so unique and satisfying, then this is a game that you're going to want to play.